So, if you made it this far, you're either legitimately interested in what this is, or
There's no
you're,
feeling more intense than starting over.
just someone
If
that
you
happened
deleted
to
your
be scrubbing
homework the
through
day before it was due, as
and
I
found
did,
one of what I
or
feel
if you
like
left
may
your
be the
wallet at
few
home and you have to go
where
back after spending an hour in the community.
I
If you won
address
some money
this
at
as
the
a whole.
casino and then put all your winnings on red, but it came up black. If you got your best
Uh,
shirt dry cleaned before a wedding and then
First
immediately
part's the
lost
who.
if you won an argument with a friend and then later discovered
Who am I?
that they just returned to their original view, starting over is
Nobody
harder than starting up.
that important.
If you're not ready for that, you've already
I'm
had a
not
bad
a games
day,
journalist,
and what you're about to go through might
not
be
a
too much.
professional,
Feel free to go away and come
but you would have gleaned that if you've
I'll be
seen most any of the other videos.
Alright, thanks for coming with me on this trip. I'll understand if you have to take a break at any point. Just find a safe place to start.
Went to school
and
for
hit the
game design,
Don't worry, I'll save your progress, always. Even your mistakes.
and got the Bachelor of Science for
This game
that.
is a homage to a free game that came out in 2002 titled Sexy Hiking.
But I don't feel like that really gives
The
me
author of
like
that game was Jazuo, a mysterious Czech designer
any
who was
credibility.
known at the time as the father of B games. And B games are rough assemblages
Or at
of
least it gives
bound
me as
objects.
much
Designers slap
as
them together very quickly and freely.
you would
And
give
they're often too rough and unfriendly
other,
to
like,
gain much of a following.
20
They're built
something
more for the
complaining
joy
about
of
a game on
building
the
them
internet.
than as polished products. In a certain way, Sexy Hiking is the perfect embodiment of a B game. It's built almost entirely out of
And
bound and recycled parts.
If you've been watching
And it's one of the most
through the
unusual and
videos,
unfriendly games of its time.
I
In it, your task is simply to drag yourself up a mountain with
commend
a
you on your suffering, but
And that act of climbing, in the digital world or in real life, has
I doubt it's gonna get a whole lot better.
No amount of forward progress is guaranteed.
I
Some
don't
games
usually
are too
do
sheer or too
commentary.
slippery. And the player is constantly,
I play games, play a lot of
unremittingly in
games,
danger of falling and losing
talk to people who play games. I went to school for games, so
Anyway,
I'm
when
a
you
person
start
who
Sexy
likes
Hiking, You're
games.
standing next to this dead tree that blocks the way to the entire
And talking
rest
about
of the
them.
game. It might take you an hour
forming
to get over the dead tree,
opinions,
and a lot of people never got past it.
hearing
Prod
different
and
views,
poke at it,
getting
exploring the limits of your reach and
good
your strength,
perspectives on
trying to
stuff.
find a way up and over. And there's a sense of
But this
truth
is like
in
my
that lack of
first
compromise. Most obstacles in video game worlds are fake. You can
proper
be completely
dive
confident in your
into
ability to get through them once you have the correct method or the correct equipment or just by spending enough time.
I would say
In that
documenting them,
sense,
but it
every
feels more
pixelated
like
obstacle in Sexy Hiking is real.
forming a hard opinion.
The obstacles in Sexy Hiking are unyielding,
Because once
and that makes the
it's,
game
in a
uniquely
video,
frustrating. But
that's
I'm
it.
not sure Jazuo intended to make
If
it
you watch
frustrating.
this video
The frustration is just essential to the act
just
of climbing,
once
and it's
or
authentic to the process
100
of
times,
building a game about climbing.
it'll be the
Funny
same.
thing happened to
Same
me as I was
opinions,
building this mountain. I'd have an idea for a new obstacle,
same
and
poor
I'd build
gameplay.
it, test it, and it would usually
Nothing
turn
really
out to be
changes.
unreasonably hard. But I couldn't bring
And I
myself to make it
remember
easy.
the hype
It already
that
felt like my
surrounded this
inability
game
to
when
get
it came
past
out,
a new obstacle was my fault as a player rather than as a
and
builder.
that's part of why I haven't.
Imaginary mountains build themselves
Other than
from our
just,
efforts to climb them.
You
And it's our
considering
repeated
myself someone who
attempts to
likes
reach the
challenge
summit
or
that
likes
turns
games
those
or
mountains
challenging
into something
games.
real.
This one is a little bit different
When
because
you're building a
it's
video
like
game world, you're building with ideas.
Foddy
And that
goes
can be
on
like working with quicksand
and on
cement.
about.
You mold your ideas into
It's
a
a real
shape
challenge
and
in the
play
sense
with
of
it.
you're not
And in the process
guaranteed
of playing with them, they begin
a
to
victory
harden and set
or a
until they're
trophy
immutable, like rock. And
or
at that
for
point,
you
you can't change the world.
to take
Not
some of the
without
same
breaking it into
path
pieces and starting
as
fresh.
someone else in
For years now, people have been predicting that games would
in
soon
a
be made out
general
of
sense.
prefabricated
If
objects,
someone takes
bought in a store and assembled into a world.
2 minutes
And
to
for
beat
the
this
most part,
game,
that hasn't happened.
it's not
Because the objects
now.
in the stores
I've
are
seen them
trash.
do it.
I don't mean
I've
they
got
look
the
bad or that
technique.
they're badly made,
Now I'll beat it
although
in
a
2
lot of them
minutes.
are. I mean they're trash in the way that food becomes trash as soon as you put it in the sink. Things are made to be consumed and used in a certain context. And once the
So
moment
this
is
is
gone,
leading
they
into the
transform
lie.
into garbage. In the
I
context of technology, those moments pass by in seconds.
had my interest piqued by this game. I beat
Over
it.
time, we've poured more and
got
more
the
resources
achievement
into
that
this
proves that you
vast
beat it
digital
once,
landfill that we call the internet. It
and
now vastly outnumbers and outweighs the things
through the
fresh
act of
and untainted
inflated
in our
ego,
internet.
I beat it a
When
second
everything
time.
around us is cultural trash, Trash becomes the new medium.
There's an
the
achievement for
lingua
beating it a
franca
second
of the
time,
digital age. You could build culture out of
but
trash.
the interesting
But only
thing is
trash
that there's
culture.
no
B
achievement
games, B movies,
for beating it any
B
other
music,
time
B
than the
philosophy.
50th.
Maybe this is what
So it's
digital
like, okay,
culture
beat it
is.
once, you know,
A
you beat the game,
monstrous
you
mountain
struggled
of
with it,
trash,
you
the
floundered
ash heap
about,
of creativity's
you
fountain.
got it done.
A landfill with everything we ever thought
You
of.
beat it a
Grand,
second time,
infinite,
and
and
it's,
unsorted.
I guess it's meant to seem more solid, you know, you truly
There's
beat the
3D
game, you
models
didn't
and
just get
breadboards.
lucky,
Gen X's fan
you
film
didn't
models, scan magazines,
kind of
green
flounder
screen
your way
Shia
past
LaBeouf,
one part and then
stuff
never
scenes
fall
on
past
live
it
feed.
again.
Facebook's got lifelike
make it to
bots
the
with
end.
unbranded adverts and candid shots of Kanye and Taylor Swift mashups. Car
You know,
crash
you
epic
actually
fail
learned it,
chips, Russian
did it
dash
twice.
cam vids, discussions of McRibs, discarded, forgotten, unrecycled, muddled, rotten,
And then there's the 50,
untitled.
where it seems,
Everything's fresh.
it seemed
for
to me
about
like the
6
only point in
seconds,
getting that
until some
achievement
newer thing
is,
bends, and we hit refresh. And there's
A,
years
you
of
either really like the
persevering
game.
disappearing into the pile, out of style, out of sight.
or B, you were obsessed with achievements, and you were willing
In
to
this context, it's tempting to make friendly
to
content.
just struggle
It's gentle, that lets you churn through it, but not
and suffer
Why
for
make
the
something
sake of
demanding
having
if it just gets piled up in the landfill,
this
filed
little
in with the bland.
marker on Steam.
When games were new, they wanted a lot from you.
And
Daunting,
I've seen people play this game and beat it.
Setting and delaying you. Players
in,
played stoically.
Uh,
Now everyone's turned
actual
off by that.
record
They
time
want to burn
because
through
they
it
were
quickly.
speed running,
Quick fix for the fickle.
and you
some
know,
tricks
keeping
for the
track,
clicks of the feckless.
racing each other. They're
That's
enjoying
not
this
you.
game,
You're an acrobat.
or at
You
least
could
the
swallow a baseball bat.
act of mastering it.
Now I know. Most likely you're
And
watching
I
this on
figured
YouTube
that
or
achievement's
Twitch,
for
while
them,
some
you know?
dude with 10 million views does it for you, like a baby bird being fed chewed up food. That's culture too.
And my original thought process
But on the off
of
chance that you're playing this,
I
what I'm
don't need
saying
this
is,
achievement,
trash is disposable.
it's dumb,
But maybe it doesn't have to be approachable.
was
What's the feeling
was
like?
pretty accurate to
Are
how
you
I felt.
stressed? I guess you
before.
don't hate it if you got this far. Feeling
Like
frustrated.
it's stupid
It's underrated.
that this exists. Like, who cares? You beat it once.
An orange. with sweet,
You
juicy fruit
like, you know,
locked
they're the
inside a
achievements. You
bitter
beat it once, you beat it twice.
That's not how I
So
feel
of course
about
you
a
could
shower.
beat it 50 times.
I
That's
only
like
want
the
the
logical
bitterness.
conclusion.
It's coffee. It's grapefruit. It's licorice.
But it's not as though the game gets any easier, like most games. And since this one was significantly challenging, I guess it's meant to show that you can get really good at arbitrarily hard tasks. And as I thought about it, I was like, well, you know, there were those options I gave where someone either really likes the game or they just want the achievement. I didn't want the achievement, but I found I do like this game. And after seeing the ending, it feels like it exists more properly as an experience. But since I feel a little bit more kind of artsy about it, where kind of like Foddy goes through and has this philosophical tirade. I feel as though I should make my own
Oh, he just lost a lot of focus.
ranting and raving
That's a deep frustration.
response
Real
to
passion.
what this is. But it's not as though I could just beat it 50 times, complain the whole way through, and then just make, you know, a 2-minute video or some kind of review that's like, hey, here's what I think of your experience. Because all that really amounts to is, you know, some guy rambling in, I guess, the review section on Steam, or trying to write an article online. And the only way people would have any really real way of taking what I say into account is like, you know, let me look this guy up. Does he have the achievement? and it's like, alright, he has the achievement. Maybe there's something valid in what he says. Maybe not. Maybe someone got the achievement for him. And the wording of this speech, of all the motivational quotes, are done in such a way where it's really up to the interpretation of the person how they want to take it. I said it before, you know, it's very easy to say, like, when you fall, you should just get back up again. But it's something in him saying it, or something like it, directly after you fall. You know, the moment you've fallen and are, like, at the height of your frustration. And I've only, currently at least, really committed to the idea of beating the game 50 times. With the catch of recording at least what remains of my runs. There's no point in me, like, returning the game and, you know, running through it 50 times on camera. Because even if I were to do that, there's no real difference than if, you know, in my first run I beat it and it says how many runs I've done previously. And in every run after that, it'll say, like, how many times the game has been completed. And as I get through the game, the pot gets slightly more golden. Because I thought one of the big draws for the 50 achievement was that, you know, your pot would be golden when you get to 50.
It feels like we're closer now. Composer and climber.
But it slowly and gradually grows
you
more
could have
golden.
refused, but you didn't. There was something in you that was hidden.
So, you know, to the untrained eye, at a certain point, maybe if you're at like 45 or 48, and you just don't feel like getting the 50, it gives you the kind of easy way out of just, like, taking a screenshot. You know, someone else has a default pot, and you tell your friend, it's like, look, I got the 50, my pot's super golden, something's wrong with the Steam achievement. Which is which it feels like is in parallel with a lot of this game's message, but I'll complain about that enough later. So, who, you know, just some guy really into games, likes games all his life, a real gamer.tm. Why? Because you know, despite conflicting opinions or outside sources of frustration, I do think this is a good game. But I also think games are an experience. So whereas it's one thing to just see, oh, he's not a speedrunner, he has the 50 runs achievement. Saying it sounds like a very just pretentious thing. It's like, oh, I did 50 runs and I'm not even a speedrunner. So it feels better to go through it and just, you know, show the process. And have it be in whatever chaotic order it actually is. You know, not every run is going to be better than the last one. I'm not always going to get, you know, a new personal best at the time. There's probably a legitimate skill ceiling for as much as there is, like, the difference in speed to where I am now versus run 50. And it
means
may
a
be
lot
that
to me
the
that you've come this
speedrunners
far, endured this much.
who go
Every
through the
wise
game in a minute and a
every
half
insensitivity, every setback
have
you've
done
forgiven
this,
me is
you
a
know,
kingly gift that you've given me.
500 times. And since I'm not trying to speedrun it, I don't really expect much to come of this. No specific accolades. You know, other people have all done the 50 completions, so I'm not the first.
We have the same
I haven't
taste,
specifically
you and
looked
I.
to see if someone else has recorded
It's not ambition.
their runs, but if
Ambition's
they've
opposite.
recorded
An
all of them
obdurate mission
starting
to
from
face defeat. You'll
from
feel
2,
bad if
they've
you win,
already
so I put this
even
snake in
documented
for
it
you.
better than me. So in the simplest of terms, it's to share my experience. You know, this game can be relaxing. You know, sometimes I play it, I listen to music, I might turn on a podcast. I'll probably try playing it, and I've played it and talked to other people. I might try playing it just while I'm trying to get, you know, certain things done with the intention of learning certain strategies to maybe get faster. And I guess we'll all see where this goes. You know,
Have
at
you
the very
thought about
least,
who you
me,
are in
myself, and
this?
I.
Are you the man in the pot Diogenes? Are you his hand?
It's
Are you
possible
the top of his
that
hand?
I'll
I think
have
not.
someone watching me,
Where your hand moves, the hammer may not follow, nor the man, nor the
and
man's hand. And this here is will, his intent,
if that happens to
the
be you,
embodied
you know,
resolve in his uphill ascent.
and you, for whatever reason, don't have this game yourself, and are just interested in seeing what happens, take your time with whatever I make of this, because I wanted to make an experience very appropriate, I feel, to what this game is. So, you know, if the video isn't smooth, or
You've conquered the ice cliff.
the audio
Homes, church,
isn't the
and
best,
the rectory, the living room and the factory,
or,
playground, construction
you know, the
site,
commentary's
the
not
granite
interesting,
and the lakeside. You've learned to hike.
I
There's no way left to go but up. In a
I hope
moment,
to
I'll shut
improve
up.
it,
But let me say, I'm glad you came.
but, you know, maybe, like how this game has its recycled parts and assets and code scrambled together to make something that most people won't even consider good, but left an impact on them, then maybe whatever I'm doing with this will be, you know, not that great. It'll say nothing new. It'll be unsurprising, but maybe, even if just for a little bit, it'll be interesting. Because, you know, and I figured recording them all would make the stakes of whatever this turns into at least interesting, because though I've gotten better than my first time, you know, it was like 16 hours and some change. It may take 16 hours and some change or more for me to get done with this. even just the part you've seen. So, you may ask yourself, why would I just watch you suffer through this, whoever you are, in the hopes that I don't know why you'd be here. Maybe someone told you that this was a wildly entertaining thought experiment. Or perhaps you wanted to hear what it sounds like when someone goes mad from what clearly must be an insufferable Sisyphean task. Maybe you're just someone, who's here to support me and whatever I do, for whatever reason. Whatever you're here for, I hope you get something out of this. Apologies in advance if you don't get something you want. I will accept gratitude in advance if you do get something you need. There is not much left to say about that. So hopefully without too much more struggle, I can just get to the end here. I did decide, though, if I was going to pursue this challenge, I may as well make the challenge a little more challenging for some reason. So I'm learning, recording, and hopefully as the videos progress, it gets better. Or at the very least it stays consistent with whatever quality this is. Because if you made it this far, I'd hope it was acceptable. I would say up until now every video has been testing, but I'm being reminded of that truth that you never really finish something, you just release it. That's a popular thing around artsy and art-focused endeavors. A game's not ever finished, it's released. People always think they can improve music or art. Sorry for the interruption. But yeah, I'm taking this time to learn some other skill besides climbing this mountain.
Oh, it happened again.
Yeah.
Keep on trying. Don't let it get to you.
I wholeheartedly stand by the previous statement that this is in fact a dumb idea. Because I don't want the achievement.
I dedicate this game to you, the one who came this
I
far.
doubt much recognition will come from
I
this.
give it to you with all my love.
And it's very likely that I will just be suffering this entire time for no real other purpose but then to suffer. But I'm alright with that. There's some art that you make for art's sake. And I'm hoping that as this goes on, maybe something interesting will happen. I'll say something profound. Or I'll use some of the skills I've learned just from like making this and doing whatever editing I may do to it. Practicing speaking to myself, perhaps it'll carry me. And this won't all be for naught. But even if it is, so far I'm having fun. If you're looking back on this because you're remembering the good times in which I said I was having fun and I clearly am no longer, don't let me know. Let me stay delusioned. Got other probably punishing games suggested. Maybe I'll look at those when this proves to be a truly fruitless endeavor. Uh, oh yeah, I don't get to let the credits scroll for this long, but I figure I may as well take my time if I'm actually going to talk in this one. Oh yeah, and so far, to Bennett Foddy, if for whatever reason someone's suggested this or sent this to you, or I have, or you've stumbled across it, and if you end up watching this, I'm sure you know that all of this that's happening is part of the experience. And if you couldn't handle a couple of people taking the piss out of your game, calling you a psychopath for liking the bitterness of oranges and not the sweetness, then maybe whatever comes of this isn't for you.